Hello, all my broke viewers and followers. Welcome to TUC Talk, and we have a very special episode for you. We're going to talk about investment tips, and if you think journalists have nothing to say about making money, well, you're probably right. Anyways, try and see if you'll learn anything, and maybe we can impart some words of wisdom to help your bank account. Tune in now. Hello, boys. It's just boys
So,
this time.
fellas,
We
back to
scared
the
off the
sausage fest.
girls with non-emotional, non-liberal topics once again.
It was going to happen.
Every so often.
We're a pretty toxic environment, if you ask me my professional opinion, but that's okay. That's okay. How's everybody feeling? Let's start with the whole mental health check-in. Thought I forgot? No, it's my favorite time of the week. Okay, for anyone new that's tuning in, though, I hope we've developed a pretty, decent conservative following by now. But for newcomers, we like to report in how we're doing week to week, or rather bi-weekly now. In that case, we report on a scale from 1 to 10. 1, I want to die. 2, my life is pointless. 3, nothing matters. 4, my life sucks now. 5, whatever. 6, I'm content. 7, I'm grateful. 8, I'm in a good place. 9, I'm excited about life. And 10, couldn't be better. All right, gentlemen, report in.
I'm gonna go first. I'm gonna say I'm at a 7. I'm at a 7 right now. Although I went for those of you that don't know, before we record, I did go on a little rant. Not gonna get to the details of that just yet, but I will tell the full story to that, and I'll spin off podcast coming soon. The Toxic Chair. But I'm at a 7 right now, and overall, I would say
I'm just learning about this. This is great.
Yeah. So overall, I'm at a 7. I'm grateful. I'm grateful for life. I'm grateful for my health, my family. Although I will say that I have been a bit burnt out over the past few weeks and everything, but I'm still grateful for that because at the end of the day, I'm busy. And one thing that helps, especially when you're a person you have a lot on your mind, it always helps to have like tasks that needs to be done because it gives you something else to focus on rather, like just swallowing self pity or just like just getting lost in your head. So overall, I'm grateful.
Nice, bro. I'm matching that energy. I'm also grateful. And if, I guess the host of the podcast right should go first since we're more important. But in any case, no, I am just so grateful for Jesus Christ having been apparently born on these past few days, so I can.
He wasn't born on the 25th.
That's what I said apparently. But in any case, we celebrate it now, and I get the day off, which is the most important thing.
Yeah.
But I feel like I am refreshed, and lots of good things are happening. I'm moving to New Jersey because New York taxes are crazy. We'll talk more about taxes later on in the episode. But finally gonna make some money moves and connected with some people out there who can not only help me with my private investigator license, but can also help me get a gun. Bang bang.
Bang
Everyone-
bang.
Yeah, everyone
Bing
excited.
bong.
Be excited for me.
Bing bong.
Bing bong. No, I can't say that anymore. I'm not from New York anymore.
Yeah, man, and it's so played out. The internet destroys everything it touches.
They do.
How do you know? You said you'd take a social media break.
I mean, TikTok
You went back
isn't
on that.
necessarily social
You went
media.
back on that, did you?
Uh,
It is. It's the number one app.
Yeah, it's social media, my man. You broke it. You gave all your data to Chinese and sold your soul.
Yeah, I mean, the government already has my data, so what's one other country? Let them fight over it.
Don't you just love how this man just puts things in perspective? Like it could be the most worst thing. Like, oh, the government has my information already. Like,
I mean,
fuck?
people love the screen. Like, hey,
You want to get phone calls about people tell you about your car insurance expired, some shit.
no,
That's
because you
how it
know
happens.
why? Because I have a Google phone, which means that automatically declines, so I don't have to pick up my phone for that shit. So Google, if you listening, sponsor me with a new Pixel 6.
Sponsored
Wait.
by Google.
Wait, what's a Google phone? You mean like an Android?
Yeah, flagship phone.
Okay. Yeah, shout out to Google.
That's true. When people say like the vaccines will like implant microchips or some dumb shit, I'm always like, yo, you're carrying. Oh, never mind. Oh, this never happened.
Yeah, you can't use that word.
Well, okay, X out that. When people talk about microchips in general being implanted,
Yeah, and I'm like,
Your phone does it for you. It's like
you have a number. They identify you with a number. Like if the government wanted to get you, they could. They don't need to put chips into you. Like
shit, man. Like half of my job is
That's
just
true.
like just by knowing your social security. Half my job is just like finding out everything about you and writing into a report. It's not that hard.
like
Regular people can do it.
I was just about to say
Exactly.
that if you give out your social security number, then you might like who cares? You know, like
No,
they could
no,
track
it's
you.
easier to get. You don't have to get it out because like there are websites that'll give you like the first 5 digits, and then there are I think like government places where if you bring the first 5 digits, you'll get the last 4. So it's just like
Are those the websites that basically like, if you pay like a certain amount for like a subscription fee, it give you access to everybody's information?
yeah, that's the easiest way to do it. But there are definite free
That's
ways to do
crazy.
it. So
It's crazy that those websites exist though.
yeah, the
I
software-
actually have
Everything
one of
exists.
those.
I'm scared. Wait, you have one of those?
Why do you
Yeah.
have one of those?
I was that was back when I was trying to find my father, but that was I had it in the subscription.
Oh, that was a moment.
Damn.
Oh,
Well, I'm sure you and all
my
your
condolences again. By the way,
well, on that note, I'm sure you want to report how you're feeling. My guess is pretty good. You got nothing bad to say, huh?
No, I mean how I'm feeling. I'm grateful. You know what? I'll say 6. I'm content. I will say I saw Spider-Man the other day. And honestly, and let me tell you, that was probably the worst movie I've ever seen.
Damn.
I'm getting you off.
Even with Toby?
Yeah. You want to know why? I think it was more so the hype that everybody built it up to be.
I'm about to say fuck the topic. We're gonna talk about this. Like, how is this
and
a bad movie?
Like it wasn't a bad movie. Let me rephrase that. It was.
You said it was the worst.
It was built up way more
up to
than
that.
what it was. Like taking a step back, if you take out like the hype around Tobey Maguire and Andrew Garfield, and like look at the movie for what it is, it's a good storyline, but
bro,
it was they hyped it up way too much.
Bro, that's like say you take out the chicken off the bone, then it's just a bone. Like no shit. Like that was the whole purpose of the movie. They play a big part in the story.
Yeah, I mean, if that's the purpose of the movie, then yeah, it did its job. But other than that, the movie was subpar.
What was it missing?
It was missing, huh?
Nude scenes with Zendaya. That's what it was missing.
No, I don't even think she's all that anyway. But that's a topic for another day. But it was just missing like substance.
This is the second black woman, ladies and gentlemen, that he just does not.
Hold on. We went through a list, and most of the girls that were on my list were black. So let's not get started with that. All right, shout out to Zazie Beetz.
Yeah, she's definitely.
I don't know who that is.
She played Domino.
I'm guessing she's white.
I'm mad. That's the first thing you said. Like Atlanta does not exist.
I mean, I was trying to think more big, but I don't think
you love Donald Glover, so that should be the first thing you did.
Kenny, have you ever seen Atlanta? I feel like you have Atlanta.
The show. No, it's really good.
Yeah,
it's on the girlfriend.
Surrealism. Okay, like yeah, she's in that. I thought we were talking about how good the show is, but I guess we're objectifying women. That's cool. I was going to talk about how surrealism is a genre in and of itself. But, okay.
But yeah, I'm feeling good. Just ready to get this holiday season over with. That's all.
Oh my god.
Yeah. I mean, as you know, Kenny knows. Let me stay in my role.
No, feel free. I mean, this is a collectivist kind of podcast.
Why? Well, was it going to be another dig?
About the what?
Was it going to be another dig at me?
Probably.
Donnie, don't be a Pisces today.
God damn it.
Exactly.
I'm already deal with some shit. Like,
I am tired of people being like, "Oh, you know, because of your horoscope, I know everything about you." Like, I don't ask girls for their horoscope. I'm like, "What's in your medicine cabinet?"
Oh my god!
If I know what's in there, I'll have a much clearer picture of what I'm gonna deal with. You know what I mean?
This show is not an attack against women, by the way.
I mean, just because we've attacked women for 5 minutes straight does not mean that's what we're dedicated to. Sean, please jump in and save us.
Right.
Sponsored by women.
Sponsored by women.
The all women brand started by men.
But what I was gonna say was, cause you said that you want the holiday season to be over with Donnie. Like, so basically, like, how would you say?
Donnie's
I
gone.
think he went to go get the package.
Donnie's getting his package.
Oh, she's getting his package. All right, so we'll say that for the end.
That is not an innuendo, people. He's actually just getting a package. I swear. I think. Well, his camera's off. I don't know. Sean, how are you feeling?
I'm gonna say I'm sitting at a good. I think we're all, I guess, grateful right now. I'll say I'm in a bit of a reflective period. You know, we're near the end of the year. I'm basically taking stock of everything that's been going on with me, mental health, the world in general. So I'm gonna say I'm sitting at a good 7. I'm grateful to be alive. I'm grateful of, I guess, the self growth that I've experienced over this year. There was some bullshit that happened over this year, but you know.
Tell me about it.
I almost want to ask you what your New Year's resolution is. No, that's okay. I'm not asking you. I'm kidding.
No, I actually want, because this is technically the last episode of TUC Talk for 2021. So I feel like at the end we should, go into like a reflection of the year that was.
Yeah, let's not share our social media. Let's just share our New Year's resolutions.
Yeah, but I like how you said the word stock though, Sean. Like that was real smooth.
What, take a stock?
Yeah. That kind of goes into investment. So
get it, stock, finance. Wow, let's get right to it then. Pop up. Well, come on, boys. What are your investment tips for beginners? And when I say beginners, I mean people who have just been living paycheck to paycheck, not because it's the only way how to live, but because they don't know any better and because our school system doesn't teach you how. What would you tell some guy who's making, I don't know, the average of 50 to 65,000 a year, and he only has a checking and a savings account? What would you tell him? Or her? I didn't mean to gender this. I'm sorry. God damn it.
Tell them.
Tell them. Him.
Him with a Z.
Him, her, he, she, they.
ZG.
Whatever you identify as. Basically, just do not invest anything that you cannot afford to lose.
What does that mean? Go deeper. What is that?
Because basically when you're first starting off, what is like investing in crypto, what is investing in stocks, or shit, whatever the case may be, or whether like you want to like trade like binary options, for whatever the case may be, like you should never put up money that you cannot afford to lose. Like basically, like do not risk your rent money. If you know you live a paycheck to paycheck, do not risk your entire month's rent just to try to like flip it. Because when it comes down to investing, like it's not like a get rich quick scheme, especially like if you're disciplined, you're being smart with it. You know what I mean? So, number 1, do not invest anything that you cannot afford to lose. 2, do your research. 3, stay far clear away from Reddit and IG memes surrounded about crypto and all that type of stuff, because that would just really get you caught in some bullshit. So, you want to do your due diligence. Pay attention to stocks. If you're going to invest in stocks, pay attention to stocks that has been performing well, have like a long track period of success. At least, like I'll say, like at least 10 years of success, a proven track record, like it doesn't fluctuate too much, that way you can consistently see like, a percentage growth each month. And yeah, that's the best I have for right now. So I'll say like, just to wrap it up, do not risk anything that you can't afford to lose and do as much research as possible.
Okay, so what Liddell's saying is basically you have to control risk, which is the name of all your investments, and his way of doing that is basically, budgeting how much money you're putting into this. Like, everyone should have a budget of their expenses, and like the priority should be going to like utilities and rent and things that keep you alive, and maybe a little left over for having fun. But you also should have like let's say 10-20% of like your income, weekly or monthly, going to your investments. And Liddell's talking about like short-term investments, like crypto stocks, blue chip stocks is what we call them. And what he's talking about is like research about the stocks. Like the longer they've been established, the safer they are. So he's talking about like Microsoft, Apple, maybe Tesla now, because it's always gonna. Yeah, it's like by leaps and bounds, and like it made so much money over the pandemic. So
Twitter.
Yeah, Twitter. Honestly, a lot of tech, but The problem with that is that like most of that is like in the tech industry, essentially. So you're not diversifying if you just put your stock in that. But we'll get to that later. But like, you want to do big banks, you want to do the telecommunications company, you want to do tech, you want to do gas and oil, even though it's inflated. The government's eventually going to bail it out if anything happens. But
Even companies like Amazon as well.
yeah, but again, that's tech, so you don't want to put all your eggs in one basket by just doing tech. Like if you have enough money for Microsoft, Amazon, Apple, um, I guess Tesla technically, and Amazon, if I didn't mention already, then you should definitely expand your pockets to talk about other industries like agriculture, like telecommunications. Like in telecommunication, there's like an India company called Infosys that's on the rise, and India is a developing country, so you can only look up. But I digress. Got any more investing tips, guys?
Is it possible to invest in NASA?
It's a government organization technically, so it's not like
So it's not public technically, right?
yeah. I mean, like I'm sure there's a way you could like put your funds in it. I just don't think you get like a return on your investment.
But you can invest in SpaceX though.
Yeah, SpaceX, and like NASA contracts to SpaceX, so it's basically the same thing.
Yeah.
Wait, but SpaceX I don't think has stock. Like the only stock that any Elon Musk
isn't that tied under is that tied under Tesla, or is that just another separate company of Elon?
Yeah, so Elon's funny. Like, most of his major companies are like you can't buy stock in, but like they all receive their funding from his other companies. Like SpaceX benefits off the success of Tesla.
That's what I
yeah.
assume.
So that's how it goes. So if you invest in Tesla, you're also investing in all his other shit,
right? Shit. Yeah.
So in a way, but NASA's already getting your money. Our taxes are going there.
Oh, okay. All right. So. All right, so I own the rights of their photos. That's going to come out in 6
You
months.
can just walk out there and be like, "Give me a tour of the rockets. I paid for this."
Make sure everything's up and functional.
But I like the way you're thinking because, as Neil deGrasse Tyson says, a lot of our technological achievements come by accident when it comes to our space program.
Mm-hmm.
Like if you like X-rays being used in hospitals, that came because they tried to use satellites to see the universe in a brand new way. They used X-rays, and then you realize, oh, we can use this on people in low doses, and they did. So yeah, that's probably the only government program I agree that our taxes should go to.
Yeah, because they just launched the successor to the Hubble telescope, James Webb, and they're talking about like it's supposed to be this generation's. Hubble to be exact. So I was just wondering, like, hey, should I like put some stock down into that? There's supposed to be photos coming out in 6 months of the first images of from things like that, and then we just reached like the cornea of like the sun. So I mean, I've been following space and stuff like this for like the past year, and it's just fascinating.
Oh yeah, no. So if for example, like Donnie, our audience sees that there's a sector of like tech that's particularly exciting, like space travel, but it's too government sanctioned and like there aren't public offerings. What I would do as research is find out what companies NASA contracts to, like where is it getting its metal, where is it getting its software, what private companies is it working with, and investing in those companies because this is the only time trickle down actually works. Everybody's gonna benefit off of NASA's success.
Right. Okay.
Any other tips for us, Donnie?
No, I was just wondering. I just saw the launch of the telescope, and I was like, "Holy fuck, man! I need to get in on this." And I feel like it's not being talked enough.
Yeah, no, we're not enthusiastic about space travel like we used to. Like I know this was like a meme not too long ago, but they asked children in America and children in China what they wanted to be when they grow up. And, Chinese kids were like, yeah, astronaut, firefighter, whatever. But the kids here were like influencers, social media, fucking account, things like that.
My God, man.
Yeah, we don't have that because you don't have to go to college for years and years and years to be a social media influencer, nor do you need it to like fucking become famous. You just need a good enough camera and some personality.
Yeah.
100K plus followed and a verified check is the new degree nowadays.
And
Oh yeah,
brands will
degree
totally
You can do,
steal that shit.
if you have that, you can make so much money, do so
that's a,
much things.
that's a good tip right there. Like, be careful with how you invest in college. Like, yeah, the higher your degree, the higher your average salary is. But if you're like coming out with 200K in debt right out off the bat and just started your job that maybe makes you 90K a year if you're like in finance or
Yeah,
software engineering,
I, I, I
you're
I
fucked.
never understood that type of investment. I mean, I guess you're investing in yourself, but yeah, like you said, like coming out of school with like, unless you're like a doctor or a lawyer or like something along those lines, you're like, I know people that went to school for like art and
Oof.
history and stuff like that, and I'm just like, I'm listening to 5 podcasts right now about art.
Well, you
I'm
can
so,
learn. Yeah,
like, I, I don't know. And like I said, I think college is only for if you're going for like a job like within law or medical or something along those lines.
yeah.
I feel like
Law,
college.
medicine, finance, computer science, and if you want to be a professor, even though it's probably a really bad industry to get in right now.
Yeah,
I mean,
the main thing is just pay attention to the industry that you want to get into. Like look
mhm.
up, how much the average salary income is because see if like let's say for instance if 86K is like the mean, then all right then focus on your education towards a career field that can at least pay you 86K. Great, like living in New York City with 86K, like
Mm. That's
I don't
that's
know about
that's cut down to fucking 60K real quick,
Ugh,
and
yeah
that's just
yeah
taxes right there. That's not even
damn.
cost of living.
yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, just
Not
do
even
research
including
on
the
it.
bodegas.
Yeah, man. The more money you save by not doing stupid bullshit like getting liberal arts degrees at like really expensive colleges, the more money you have into investment. So, I feel like the first piece of advice when you're investing is like keep your costs low. Just keep them low. Like how I did that was like luckily my parents are smart enough to get 529, so I have about maybe $200 in debt right now, including credit cards. But I will not allow myself to invest until those $200 I paid for because that's a liability that has interest and it'll hurt my credit score. It'll make me have less access to loans and to start businesses in the future. So
Yeah.
yeah,
I fucked up when I first got my credit card. I was like
it's
a
the devil.
fucking Gucci man in the strip club, man. Like I was using that thing. I was swiping that bitch for everything.
How they in the strip club, you use a
Yeah.
credit card, you just swipe the butt cheeks. It was a transaction.
I was like, yeah, put it on the card. And
I felt that way
I
now
yeah.
with my like credit card simply because I just got this credit card, but because it's the holiday season, I've been putting everything on this goddamn credit card. So I'm
God
just sitting here
damn.
like
I did that when I was in Canada.
I'm
I
sitting
did that
Has,
when I was there.
has anybody here ever had a rush card?
No, you talking about that Russell Simmons. That's how
Yeah.
you know you old. I mean, I knew exactly what you was talking about, but that's
Point
old
for
as
Donnie.
fuck. I
That's a
still
clip.
remember.
That's a clip right there. Okay.
I still
Point for
remember
Donnie
him
against
like on
Odell.
those commercials, like holding that rush card, like it was a black card, and it was like Russell Simmons at the bottom, like entrepreneur, some shit like that, and he'd be like advertising, like call this number and get your cut. Yeah, I still remember that shit.
Yo, credit cards are a scam. Like you have companies with no business selling you credit cards. So like
Mhm.
I think Macy's has a credit card, right? And they're probably making more money off those credit cards than they are like actually selling clothing. Because
I have a Hot Topic credit card that's still like when I go on Credit Karma, like it's still like
yeah,
I think it's still active
yeah.
and like it's still boosting my credit up.
Okay.
How
Well,
often
And
do
I
you
tried to
tap that hot
cancel
copy?
if you can't
Enough
cancel
for
a
a credit
credit
card.
card, if you can't cancel a credit card, like cut that shit in half with some scissors and try to control yourself from getting replaced. Your credit will be fine, and like
Okay.
it'll just exist in the
Because I
ether.
mean it's been like 7 years, I believe. So
I haven't seen a hot topic in years.
That's so unprofessional.
Don't buy Hot Topic stock is what I'm saying. But
What was that other store that used to be popping back in the day?
Spencer's.
Zoomies.
Spencer's, that's definitely one of them. And fuck, what was the other one? It had nothing but like, you had to literally look like a model to work there.
Abercrombie and Fitch.
Hollister.
Abercrombie and Fitch and Hollister.
yeah. Oh shit, they were
Yeah,
like
that fucking dark ass place, and there was never any black people in there.
No, you all had to be like a California.
What does it matter to you that there was black people in there?
Come on.
Point from Liddell.
What?
Every time you walk past that place, I tried to walk in there once, and they looked at me like you know you're not supposed to be in here, right?
I went as a kid, and it wasn't like that bad because I guess I was a kid. But I've heard like horror stories of them like judging people who wanted anything over like a size medium or some shit.
Yeah.
And I was like,
a black man or a black woman going to Abercrombie and Fitch or Hollister is like a white person going past 125th Street in New York City. Like, are you lost?
It's happening now.
One of those brands, I think the CEO definitely got in trouble because he said, "quote unquote," I don't want ugly people wearing my clothes. And I can't remember which brand it was. I remember hearing that, and I was
probably. I wouldn't be surprised.
I know Tommy Hilfiger got trouble for some shit like that.
Oh my god. I'm pretty sure they're owned by the same people because they give me the same vibes.
all them people in high-end fashion.
So basically, Sean, what you're saying is that if you want to invest, don't do it in fashion.
What I was gonna say, now that we're back, I would say to kind of like go with what both Kenny and Liddell said. Kind of put your money in like different places. I would say at least like savings wise, have your money saved or like spread out in different places. Like I can say, I legit have I have a savings account in Chase and I have like a savings account somewhere else. And I have this like one app that basically kind of like helps save money from like your own checking account, stuff like that.
Acorns. You got Acorns, right?
No, it's this one called Digit. I don't know if you've heard about it. So like basically what Digit would do is like basically you attach your like bank to it and they find like any quote unquote unused money that you're not using like when you get paid and they kind of save it for you on like this kind of like rainy day fund. So basically like from your own checking account, they'll kind of take money out of your account and just save it over here for like emergency purposes without you, not saying without your permission, but it's just like you can kind of regulate what you want to do with it.
It do sound like they debone your money.
No, it's like, so basically like they'll take like let's say you get paid or whatever, you don't spend like maybe $50 or whatever. They'll take maybe a day from like each day. They'll take maybe like, let's say $5 that you haven't used or like $2 that you haven't used, and they'll put it over to the side. That way, in case like when an emergency come up, you have money somewhere. Like you just have like money in an extra space that you can take from.
It sounds like one of those things where it's like round up. Like if you're like spending money on a coffee, like they'll round up like the 6 cents or something like that.
Yeah, that's Acorns.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, basically like that. But now that I heard about Acorns, I'm gonna have to look into that. But
no, it's great. Like you attach it, you put your debit card, and every time you make a transaction, it makes the transaction more expensive, and the difference between the actual price and what you paid for is like put in a. I think it's a mutual fund. I don't think it's like a regular savings account because it can get dividends and it does have more interest. Because my problem with savings account is like, yeah, have them for like a rainy day, but you're not getting interest on that shit. So it's like it just sit. Well, you are, but it's so little that it's like
It's like 1%.
Yeah, if you want interest and you want to see that shit grow, I always tell people do mutual funds. I know they're old school now and like Warren Buffett used to talk about, but the great shit about mutual funds is like it will diversify that money into different shits. Like there are mutual funds that are a bit more specific, but in general, it'll be like, we'll put your money in different sectors, in different companies, in different countries, and it like basically flattens the diversity.
And that is some Warren Buffett shit.
Yeah, no, Warren Buffett tells you to be like subtract your age from 100, and basically what the result is how much you should put in safe shit like U.S. bonds and shit, because well, they're not safe right now, but like that's historically the safest thing you can invest in, and then whatever's left you put in your mutual fund.
Yeah, right.
The thing I never got is like what exactly is bonds? I always hear about like
they're IOUs essentially with the government. Well, they don't have to be with the government, but basically, you give an IOU to you let the money, you let the government borrow your money in the form that's not taxes, and they give you a bond, which is kind of like a certificate that says you paid this and you are owed this in a few years, and like I think there's interest on it. So when you
Oh shit.
buy them back, it's you
Yeah.
can do it online and with your brokerage, and this kind of works like stocks. The difference is like people only do it to be safe because they know their money is probably not going to dip down because the U.S. government's the U.S. government because they're a safe institution, and you might see a little growth in a couple of years, but it's mostly just for the safety. Like people aren't doing this to make cash loads of money.
So I could walk up to Capitol Hill in a couple of years and say, "Yo, pay up."
If you want to go to the right department, but you could just do it from home in your brokerage.
Yo, okay, all right, cool.
It's just like that one episode of Cow Chicken back in the day, the IOU episode.
Oh yeah, I remember that. That was a funny show.
But
yeah,
let's talk about, because like I know I mentioned earlier about investing like stocks with basically like tech companies and crypto, but there's also like other things that people can invest in as well, like index funds and stuff like that. So
indexes are a kind of mutual fund that's a bit more specific. I believe the difference is that there's no, like, mutual funds have this like a manager assigned to the portfolio, and he's kind of guiding it, and he's a professional. Or she, I'm sorry, I keep gendering. They're professionals, and they know that index funds are a little freer. They're just like more random, and like the thing is, like, index funds have been known to like make you more money, even though if they have a bit more risk, is what I understand. If to our followers, if I'm not giving a good enough
biscuit, no biscuit.
Yeah, if I'm not giving a good enough in definition, go to Investopedia. But index funds are just a kind of mutual fund, and like Liddell began with like crypto and like blue chip stocks. For me, that's in the short term category because it's like you want to buy that and sell that relatively right away. I'm not saying like within the same year, but like within the next like 5 years. I'm more of a long term investment guy, which is what I want to segue into because like whatever I invest. I do have some stocks. I do have some individual blue chip stocks, but not that many. Most of my investments are for when I retire, and that's something people don't really pay enough attention to because Social Security sold them that they're going to be taken care of when they're older, when they're going to have to change their lifestyle a lot for that little bitty shit of Social Security checks they'll get like month to month or however it is. Like, you will not be able to live as you do now on Social Security in the future. So if you don't want that, let Uncle Kenny tell you what you got to do.
Okay. Kenny, do you have investments in Russia?
Potentially. I don't specifically go to Russia, but I'm sure so there are like environmentally safe and like ethically moral mutual funds and things like that, and ETFs and shit. I don't fuck with those because they don't make money. So I potentially have money in China, Russia. I don't know.
It just sounds like the dude that just has money like in those countries and just like
that's like, why you say Russia out of all places? Like, are you the ops or some shit?
Yeah, I wouldn't say Russia's wire. So Russia for me is not the best place to go because they have a lot of problems the next few years.
I mean, they're getting ready to invade Ukraine, so I mean, isn't it the right
There's
time
money
to
to be
invest?
made off that. There's money to be made off of that, particularly in like their weapons industry. But like Russia has a lot more problems than that in the coming years because like it's low population. Other countries don't like investing in Russia because it's not a real democracy. So the government can basically nationalize whatever they want at any time. So that's not a safe risk. But if you wanted to make money off of people suffering, go into the weapons industry. But, people do all the time, and I probably have some money in there. I don't know. The mutual funds are random, not random, but you're not told of where every little cent is. But what I was getting to is like, Uncle Ken is going to tell you what you need to do for retirement. It's super easy. So if your job offers a 401k and they match at least up to 6%, then you give 6% contributions, because that shit will just build up with compound interest. And every time you contribute, your job contributes. If you don't contribute at the same rate they promise you, you're basically leaving money on the table. So do that. That's one more retirement portfolio. And the risk is very low because there's so many people just pouring their money into this. It's diversified. There are more people in it. The more people you have like investing in one thing, the safer it is. but that's okay. You don't. Maybe your job doesn't offer a 401k. Maybe no, I highly suggest that you care more about benefits than you do about salary sometimes. But okay, so your job doesn't offer 401k. They're a bunch of bum bitches. Okay, cool. What you can do is open something that's kind of like a 401k but private, called an IRA. There are two kinds, Roth and traditional. I suggest getting both, but if you had to, I'd say get Roth. Essentially, it works kind of like 401k. It takes advantage of of compound interest. Sometimes they pay interest, sometimes you'll get dividends, I think. But most importantly is that your money is relatively safe. And here's the kicker. You guys paying attention? They don't pay taxes. They're a tax shelter.
God
You
damn.
can you can contribute $6,000 per year, and they won't be taxed until you take them out during retirement when your taxes are lower anyway. You know what I mean?
Damn,
that's
so I could be skating through like these A-list celebrities.
hell yeah, hell yeah. Put 6K in each IRA that you have, and they can be like, they don't have to be with the same brokerage. You can have an IRA here and an IRA there. Like I have one with Chase, one with Fidelity. No, sorry, one with Chase, one with Acorns, because they do IRAs too. And I try my like, I'm not making enough money to max out both, but I at least max out one. And like if you do like 6K a year, you can easily have 1 million by the time you're 65. You have multiple IRAs, that's 2 million if you were able to stay on top of that. You have a 401k, that's like 3 million by the time you're 65. So yeah. So what I warn people about investing is like, don't think you won't be paying taxes unless it's a tax shelter. All those stocks, blue chip stocks, your mutual funds, all your little side money, it will be fucking taxed 100%. You're
Does
taxing
that go for those what they're called, meme stocks, memes?
meme stocks.
Meme
Yeah,
stocks?
yeah, like Dogecoin or whatever.
Doji coin and
Yeah, you're paying
Shiba.
taxes for any money you make. Like Uncle Sam is always going to want his cut eventually. So I don't care if it's crypto or like a regular stock, you will be paying some taxes. The only thing to alleviate that, I believe, is that if you have a heavy enough loss that can like count as tax credit almost. So even if you're losing money on the stock market, like you can more or less make it back when you take taxes into consideration. But at the very least. But yeah, no. Your retirement plans are your tax shelters. You want to max those shits out. And
Okay. Quick question, Kenny.
yeah,
Why long-term investment over short-term investment, especially for like young millennials and Gen Z folks?
they're safer. I mean, I see. So right now, the big craze is NFT. Before that, it was crypto. Before crypto, it was Forex. Before Forex, it was, I don't know, gambling on horses. There's probably was like one more thing, and what I want, like betting on horse racing, and what I want to, it's just too high risk, and it can be gambling, and you usually need a lot of capital to make a lot of money in the first place. When you're starting off zero and you don't have intergenerational wealth, if you don't have a high income, if you don't have real estate to offset the damage you do, I don't really like playing with the short-term stocks. I even though I can take on more risk right now, I choose not to, unless like I know it's like a short thing, like, oh, we're having another pandemic, I'm gonna put it all on Zoom. You know what I mean?
Mm.
Yeah. So
Actually
I'm not trying
smart. I
to
wish I
bash
fucking
that
did
kind
that
of
shit.
stuff, but it's just like it's just one form. It's just the gambling of our generation. You can make a lot of money off of gambling. Tobey Maguire used to make $1 million a year just from one gambling tournament. But it's just like
Wait, Spider-Man?
yes, Tobey
He
Maguire
used to be
is an
good
elite
or
black
something
poker
like that, right?
gambler. He is so
What?
gangster that he went up
Yeah.
to a hedge fund manager that wouldn't pay up what he owed, and he beat the crap out of him. Apparently, Google that. That's my Spider-Man right there. That's my Spider-Man. Google it. Google Tobey Maguire and his gambling. It's amazing.
And then he put him upside down in the spider web.
basically, and then he beat his ass again. He's
So,
like, where's the money?
so basically, you think that NFT and cryptos, those are fads. I can't necessarily say
Crypto?
Force has been around a whole lot longer.
No, I
but
know
like,
crypto's great. I used to love crypto because when Bitcoin was made, it was made in the intention of having like a currency that's not regulated by the government, which I think is dope. Like I know a lot of people like criticize our cash because it's only based on trust. It's fiat. We don't have gold to back it up again. But I argue that that's not so much true. Like what backs up our money is like the the United States being a powerhouse economically and militarily. Like, you can trust our money because we will always be here because we're just that powerful. It's not even, we don't really necessarily need gold, but I did like the idea of Bitcoin being this money that the government can't. Well, you could track it, I suppose, but they have nothing to do with it. They don't control
I
it.
like that aspect of it.
I love that aspect. Like, it's just the market dictating what and what. But the government eventually got their grubby little hands off on it. India banned it. I'm sure China's looking into it. Some people want to like, yeah, yeah. That's why it's going down. Like, even Elon Musk like backed out of it eventually because he said it wasn't environmentally friendly. And I'm like, yes, you're using like hydroelectric generators to you know to give energy to computers that make this Bitcoin by like solving complex equations. So and then you had all these like ridiculous cryptos coming to market, like Dogecoins that were just like they were just memes to like capitalize on the fact that people thought, oh, if it's crypto, it's something I want to invest in. So initially, I loved crypto when it was just its own thing, and people were making a joke of it or just like buying it for the sake of making a lot of money. I loved it. But now it's not what it was, and NFTs are probably the most garbage things I've ever seen in my life.
Oh God,
it's garbage.
I get it. It's almost like that garage band, right? That had like a little cult following, like only like a small group of people know about that. But now that more people know about, like it kind of like it's more commercialized. So like now it's like the government's paying attention to.
Yeah, the government paying attention is ruining crypto for everyone. But I mean, NFTs I hate even if the government weren't involved because it's just like giving art majors the idea that the majors were actually worth something in the end because they made the 5,000 bored ape that you can't
anyway.
Yeah. The thing is, like, you don't own the NFT technically. Anyone can screenshot that picture. That's not what matters. What matters is like it's the receipt. It's the receipt, and again, it's like a short-term dangerous side because like its value goes up or down based on whatever.
It's kind of like a flex for those people. It's like I don't know. I guess, and then they'll say like, "Oh, I get invited to yacht parties or screenings or like being in like boardroom meetings," and I'm like, I mean,
they're usually lying to you.
That's cool if you like that, but like
a lot of influencers are lying to you. Like they'll be paid by NFT creators to be like, "Oh man, like the NFTs I got here, and because of them, I got invited to yacht parties, and I'm doing so well."
Yeah.
And that way, more people buy them. It's kind of like a scam, kind of like modern art, like how I told you guys not too long ago. How basically you'll get someone to paint whatever shit, you'll get someone else to appraise it for however much money, let's say $2 million. You donate that shit to a museum, and now you have a $2 million tax break. So it's similar to that. You're just
it reminds me of that banana art piece craze a couple of years ago, and
or like Kanye's bag of air from his concert, like that.
Wait, he sold bag of air?
He didn't. A fan did, and they made a lot of money off of it. Like the value of something is not how much work it goes into it, like Karl Marx says. The value of something is dependent on what people will pay for it. It's subjective. Yeah, it's completely subjective. That's how crypto and NFTs are working right now, but it's just kind of ridiculous because like you could lose all your money in one night based on how sporadic it is, based on the fact that everyone wants a piece.
And then you got Elon Musk, like potentially like controlling.
I'm not even gonna hold you. I was thinking about doing some NFT type stuff for TUC.
Oh God!
I really was.
Listen, don't let me stop you from making the money. Like I'm more mad at people buying NFTs than I am people creating them. Because like if there's a demand, go ahead and meet it. Like the consumer has to actually,
because in essence, an NFT is let's say for instance, like we all have cell phones, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So basically, it's like okay, like you get NFT. It's basically you get someone's cell phone. Like only you own that. Like you only have access to this person's contacts, photos, text messages, all that type of thing. That's what essentially what it's supposed to be. But what Kenny is saying as well is like okay, like you could easily just take a screenshot of some of this stuff.
It's not the artwork. It's not the artwork. It's the blockchain technology and the receipt of the actual purchase. Like it's everything but the artwork. That's what that's worth anything.
Yeah. So yeah, like it's just a nice flex for people.
People just
I'm only just pissed because it's starting to infect the gaming industry, and that's
I'm glad you said, because that's like another thing. Like it's basically like flipping like the same PS5 over and over again. Like, oh, I paid $800 for this. Oh, like let's see if I could get it set up for $1,200. It's like a pass around. It's basically
and people will be proud of that shit.
It's a scam.
You know,
it's a scam for the buyer. And
I was
again,
gonna say a certain 3-letter word, but I will refrain because I don't want to get flagged.
I know it's a scam for the buyer because it's like, just think, years ago Forex was the thing to invest in. That was the thing everyone was doing. You have to realize that these are all fads. Like there's probably always going to be cryptocurrency.
I didn't hear about Forex until the pandemic.
Exactly,
Like,
it's not being cool.
Like how long are people? Like I have no
Until
idea.
I didn't hear about that shit.
I have no idea how long people are supposed to hold on to their NFTs. Like there's no like is it like a long-term investment?
Here's what you can do. Here's what you can do. I'm not sure if you can do it with NFTs, but you could. I'm pretty sure you could do it with crypto, and you could definitely do it with like traditional stock, where you have an exit strategy and you like input into the software. Okay, if it goes over this amount, sell. If it goes under this amount, sell. Basically. So if it's like I bought this for $1,000, now it's fucking 5,000. I'm gonna sell it there, which you shouldn't. If it's going that high, I'll probably go higher. But if it's I bought for $1,000 and it dips down to like 400, stop it, sell it, stop right there, because it's just gonna keep going down.
You basically just don't want to be the last person holding the shit.
That's what I'm learning about all of this. Like you just don't want to be the last person holding this NFT.
It's like a pyramid scheme.
That's why I'm like confused as to like. So you're just basically playing hot potato.
Yeah, basically, essentially.
Well, shit. Let me get in on this.
You think that Kanye bag of air is still worth what it used to be? No. It probably went up or down. You don't even know. No one knows.
It's like network marketing in a sense.
Yeah, maybe we should move on because like I got another great tax shelter that I'm pretty sure Kanye took advantage of after like announcing he was like however much in debt. Like his church is a business that does not get taxed for religious purposes, so he gets to keep all the money he makes. That's why we have such rich pastors and like mega churches out there. So I'm not saying he paid off all his debt with church money, but I'd be surprised.
Yeah, he definitely was in debt for a while, and then suddenly he comes back out. And I remember him boasting in a song that he's like rich now or some shit like that.
Yeah.
So
Kim Kardashian's mom had a church at one point, I believe. And
the church has always been. It's always been like a flex and like a way to make money.
Yeah, honestly, your money, you keep all the donations you make. Essentially, you do not pay taxes. It's a religious organization. The only other thing that doesn't pay taxes is a non-profit, and it literally you just survive off of donations and whatever salary you're allowed to give yourself.
Yep.
But yeah, man. Well, our tip summed up is like be careful about your investments, research them, diversify them. Up to you if you want to do short or long term, but a lot of long term investments come with the added benefit of not paying taxes.
And when in doubt, start a church.
When in doubt, start a church. It can be anything. You get enough followers, it can be anything.
I mean, I feel like with this topic here, like we kind of went into like the struggles of investing, so to speak, especially with the NFTs. Like basically, like, you just do not want to be like the last man standing, holding the shit. But if I could start off, I'd say one of the struggles of investing is like just following everything that you see on the internet. You know, like going to like Reddit, going on Instagram, seeing all these memes and all type of stuff. People are hyping up like, oh, like this is the next big investment. Hop on this. You have like all these supposed mega
lights.
All these
like
all these mega investors. You basically tell you how they make all their money from their investment. Meanwhile, they're really making their money from selling the courts. You know, so
those fucking unskippable YouTube videos.
Yeah,
they're like, oh, Paul's right there. You want to know how I got this Mercedes Benz?
Oh yeah, like, no,
I don't.
Those are scammers. They tell you they'll give you like they'll say they'll act as consultants and they'll tell you how they got rich, but they're really just getting rich and convincing people to buy their programs. And
a lot of TikTokers do that stuff.
Absolutely. Don't trust any TikToker. Don't trust any of them. Even the ones that like, if you do my workout plan and subscribe to my series, you will look like me. And then secretly they're on steroids. So it's just like, who cares? But Donnie brought something up about the struggles of investing. Is that like, if you don't have enough money if you barely have enough money to feed yourself, you're not probably not investing at all.
Yeah, it's
But
more
don't that
so
but don't that
like
really answer the last question though? Like about
no,
the average
it
person?
like the average person does like for me, like somebody like me, like like I said, all these it's like Vegas, like all these bright lights and oh, join this, join that, and it's like we don't have time to do shit like that. Like we like I'm too worried about paying rent next month
Yeah.
as opposed to like trying to like Donald Glover said it best. Poor people are too busy trying not to be poor.
Hmm.
Like we don't have time to invest. We got to eat now, and we can't wait 6 months down the line to see that $1,000 turn into like $15,000 or some shit like that. When I got a fucking baby mom, I got a car payment, I got this, I got this, I got this. Like
Mhm.
it's that roadblock that I think a lot of people need to try to get over. So what
I got
options
you.
do you have with that?
I got you. So like firstly, a lot of the problems stem, and I'm not trying to blame poor people for their own
Mhm.
situations. Like I believe it's disgusting that poor people have to pay taxes even on unemployment checks.
Hmm.
So it's like,
Yeah, that's fucking.
however poor you are, you could be richer if the government wasn't taxing you. Like if you're making 30K a year, no, you're probably making 50 at but Uncle Sam wants a piece. But
Mhm.
that there's nothing you can do about that. You can alleviate that by what I'm doing right now. I'm moving to from New York City to Jersey City, where the taxes are slightly less, the cost of living is less, the gas is less, the rent is slightly less, and I have more access to greater income because like my job is in New Jersey, so I get to keep more because of taxes. But also like the other benefit, like what I was talking about, is that it's much easier to become a private investigator out there than it is in New York because there are less like government policies. I can also have access to a firearm, which makes me more marketable because I can do executive protection. And right there, I create another stream of income while lowering all my costs and lowering my taxes a bit. So basically, the moral of the story is like there are ways to if you're ready to make compromises, there are ways to save more money, and that money you save can be used for maybe a little bit of leisure, but can be used for investments. Like, there's no reason anyone has to live in a city like New York. There's no reason unless your job is absolutely there, and the cost and the taxes would be too high if you.
Or are you a superhero?
Yeah, yeah, basically. Like my issue is that I'm living in New York, but I'm working in Jersey, so I pay taxes for both. And like the reverse can happen where you're living in Jersey and living in New York, but you're paying taxes for both. But maybe the cost is worth it. But New York is the type of place where you can make enough money to pay for the problems you would have nowhere else, essentially. So like, yeah, the cost of living is way too high, rent is way too high, the taxes are way too much. So move out of New York into either New York State or Jersey, where it's less.
Is Hoboken still part of New York?
No, it's
It's
Jersey.
Jersey.
It's
Oh, it's
Jersey.
Jersey. Okay.
Oh, go to Jersey. Yeah, go to
I mean,
Hoboken. It's probably cheaper.
I mean
Go,
that's what Dipset did. They all left Harlem and went to Jersey and
yeah,
Miami.
move to some place with lower taxes, with a more friendly environment, and whatever. That's one thing you can do to save money. Um, buy everything used. Go to thrift shops, buy used cars, and pay them with cash if you can. Everything needs to be used. Cut your credit cards. For one thing you can do, like if you're really high in credit card debt but you own a home somehow, you can take out a home equity loan from the bank and use it to pay off all your credit cards. And the reason I say this is because that loan will have a much fairer interest rate than those credit cards do. Like I said earlier, a lot of places like Macy's, for example, is making most of its money off of credit cards because that interest is crazy. It is crazy, but home equity loan will be much more favorable. So yeah, pay off all your debts. Focus on that first. Move to somewhere that's has lower taxes, lower cost of living. Um, buy everything used from a thrift shop. Get your car with just cash and get it used. I don't care if it's an old model. Stop wasting shit that doesn't have value in the end because like a car's
Mm.
value decreases over the year. when Drake buys like a 9 million gold watch, that shit will go up in value. So that's kind of a smart investment.
Because
we're not Drake.
Gold is always smart investments.
Gold's always a smart investment. Like again, those people who wish that cash were backed by gold, probably not going to happen. But if you want to invest in gold, it's really easy. You can go somewhere and buy a gold bullion, which is like a bar of gold, and that shit's value will probably increase, maybe decrease a little, but pretty good. Even during depressions, gold and silver are usually pretty good. We're going to talk about depressions and recessions in a second. That's very important. But if you don't want to do that, you can just invest in gold mining companies, which is basically the same thing. Those companies that go in and like dig for the gold, they're making the same amount of profit that gold is making on itself. You know what I mean? They find more gold, they make more profit. They find less gold, well, gold is worth a little more now. But yeah. What else can you do? It is kind of tough. It is kind of tough for poor people.
Basically, what you're getting at is you're going to have to make sacrifices.
Lots of sacrifices. Yeah.
That's life, period.
Ben Shapiro, who I don't like quoting very often, once said, you will never be poor if you wait until marriage to have a child, or at least when you have a partner. And you know, this is kind of like hindsight for people already in the situation. At least graduate high school, but I would say college is probably more preferable. And yeah, just stay away from crime, because crime is costly. Like if you go to jail for anything, you have a much less likelihood of getting a job in the future. And honestly, all that time you're in jail, you could be making some money. But yeah, those are basically how you avoid those situations. If you're already in those situations, get into construction or something with like
yeah, just basically take up any trade.
Yeah, trades are great.
Even
Trades
cooking would be good.
My MBA professors were like, there are plumbers right now that will make more than you do when you graduate. And I'm like, wow, okay, thank you.
People always need toilets.
And get into real estate as well.
Yeah, real estate's pretty good. There are ways to invest in real estate that aren't like buying a house. Like buying a house is great because like you either flip it or you collect rent from it. Fucking great. But if you don't have enough capital for that, there are these things called REITs, which basically you can think of them like little stocks in the real estate market, and you can buy them. However the real estate market is doing, you'll make a little bit of money off of it, and you don't have to own a house and like keep it fixed and like deal with tenants. So it's a pretty decent compromise. But before we wrap up, let's talk about depressions and recessions, because they are going to happen. I don't think we have the real recession. I mean, real depression since like the 1920s, thankfully. But we've had plenty of recessions. We lived through like what, 2 or 3, maybe. I think. Yeah. Are we still in one? I don't even know. But like I said before, gold and silver are probably the safest investments you can have, because even in depressions, they're fine. The thing about depression recessions, like essentially, you will see all your stocks plummets. They will plummet in value. That doesn't mean they don't have any value, but they will. A lot of them will plummet. Do not sell. Do not sell. It will eventually bounce back. Our governments, for better or worse, bails out all its companies. Like especially like the.
Oh God, I remember that. I do remember that.
They bailed out the banks. They bailed out the fucking airplane industry. They're like, well, Biden has like a $12 trillion plan right now, and most of that will go to like corporate welfare and fucking bailing out people, just like Obama did. I always said that like Biden will probably just be Obama 2.0, but more money. But do not sell. The problem with recessions and why everything decreases in value and everything goes to shit and businesses close is because they sell their investments because they're scared. Hold them. They will eventually bounce back. After the recession, you'll probably get back to the level you were pre-recession or even more.
What would be similar to that for people that solely invest like in cryptos?
Oh, cryptos? I don't even think cryptos might be. That's the thing. I'm not sure how cryptos are affected by depression or recession.
It's not so much as it's mostly affected by like.
I think they'll just be as sporadic as before. So
the thing about crypto that is totally affected by the people. You know, like if a crypto gets like a lot of hype, you know, online, like Shiba, you know, like it was getting a lot of hype, and everybody like, oh, like buy Shiba now, and then price immediately rose, and then like within a day, it went right back down.
Isn't that what happened with the AMC and GameStop? Stop.
that was with what's that? Robin Hood. Robin Hood shit.
Yeah, Robinhood's okay. I don't like Robinhood. You can't actually buy crypto. They you just get like I don't know what it's called. Like it's not kind of like Coinbase where you have like an actual wallet where you put like Ethereum or Bitcoin in and you can actually use it to buy shit. It's more like you're buying stock, I guess, in crypto. You don't actually own the crypto. So I hate it.
Yeah.
And they've been known to like limit their audience from buying shit. Like when
Yeah, that's what happened
the
with
GameStop, yeah.
GameStop.
But yeah, that's the thing with crypto. So like I imagine if you're going through a recession and you're already the kind of person to sell your stock during that kind of shit, you're probably selling your crypto so you can like have all your money in liquid state. And that's kind of stupid, really.
Yeah, people always say like buy the dip.
Yeah, that's another thing people do. Like, what he means is like when the stock's price goes down is when people start buying. So when it bounces back up, you make a if it bounces back up, you make a profit off of it. So like whenever any of my mutual funds, for example, are like dipping in value slightly, I just buy some more because when it dips up, I make more money. So yeah, Bitcoin can I kind of go either way. Like I'm sure like a person who sold all his stock during a recession will sell all their Bitcoin just so they have liquid cash because people think liquid cash is good. It's not good. Like because of inflation, like your $100 today is not worth $100 in 10 years. So if the government starts printing money like it usually does is during recessions, which is actually a good thing. I usually hate printing money, but it's actually a good thing during recessions. Your liquid cash's value and its buying power will go down. So you might as well have just kept it in stocks that would have gone up in value. But instead of having it like sitting in your bank account with like banks that could be like closing, it's like it does not make sense.
Oh, touche.
Yeah.
Touche. Now we get into why the average person don't invest, or did we cover?
Yeah, I basically had Kenny explain that part of it because, like I said, a lot of people was just like, why should I care about this? Like, I got bullshit to worry about. Stuff like it's. I think a lot of people don't invest is one, they don't really know how to invest.
Yeah.
And two, thinking
like
about the future is the furthest thing
yeah,
from their mind.
it's the fear of the unknown as well.
Yeah, and the fear of the unknown.
Because you're already, like you said earlier, like you're already like struggling for cash, and you just focus on like poor people just like you're already broke. You just try to figure out okay, like how you just gonna get to the next day. And a person said, hey, like if you would like just invest $200, you ain't gonna really make much with $200, but just for example's sake, like invest $200 into this, and then over a course of time, like you might see like a return on your investment. People are like, well, shit, like this $200, I'm trying to make this last throughout the whole work week until I get paid or some shit. So that's what it comes down to.
Yeah, no, I'm not trying to blame poor people for their own problems because a lot of their problems are society, the government, the school system's fault because they're not educating people and they're making it harder to keep your money.
Yeah, it's so fucked.
But
that's another point as well. It's not taught in school.
Yeah, and it doesn't have to be because there are books like the most famous is Rich Dad Poor Dad, even though it's kind of stupid. But
I heard of that book.
It's basic investing 101. Essentially, you give that to someone, they'll get an idea of what they're supposed to do. It doesn't really get into specifics, but yeah, and the younger you start, the better off you'll be sooner, and like you can retire fairly early if you start young enough. But most people can't. But again, I'm not trying to blame poor people, but a lot of their practices need to be looked at in order for them to get out. Like, you have a baby mama, you probably shouldn't have had a baby mama. You should not have knocked up that girl. You have one anyway. Okay, use that kid as a dependent on your taxes so you pay less taxes. Find a way to make that better. Improve your relationship with the baby mama. Maybe get with her so she's not asking for alimony and shit or whatever. Like, lower your expenses. You have payments on the car. Why do you have payments on the car? You should have just bought that used. Okay, Warren Buffett drives an old pickup truck. That should tell you everything. Like, mimic the buying habits of rich people, and you will eventually be rich.
LeBron James doesn't even pay for apps. Like, he doesn't pay for Spotify and shit like that.
Yeah, you shouldn't. I don't. Cancel all your subscriptions. Tinder is
I found that out. Like, wait, who fucking
Tinder's
pays for Tinder?
Wait,
no,
hold
no.
on. So I mean, I got cancel my Netflix. If I also just cancel my Netflix, my Disney Plus, my Hulu, my Sling TV,
Wait,
my Amazon
first
Prime,
of all, why do you have so much?
just in case somebody else need it and I can
No,
run it out.
no.
Cut that out.
Like if you need a password or something, I got you. I got it all.
Bro,
But you need Netflix, Sling TV, and Hulu.
that's crazy. That's
Disney
amazing.
Plus,
overdoing
Amazon
it.
Prime,
I got
Disney
extra,
Plus?
bro. Paramount Plus, Peacock.
Bro, I saw Do the Right Thing for free.
Yeah.
I told you to give me the hookup website. You ain't give it to me yet.
Oh shit, yeah. Yo, y'all gotta go to Pluto TV is out there. That's free.
Everybody try to use Tubi.
People pay for
Tubi,
crazy
that's where I
shit.
saw it on. That's where I saw it on.
Yeah, people pay for crazy shit. Like I brought up Tinder before because it is not an app for women. It is an app for men, and here's why I say that. It works the same way as nightclubs. Like it has a bunch of women on it because that will attract more men, and men are more likely to pay for drinks in clubs, and men are more likely to pay for those stupid gold subscriptions on Tinder or to get access to the girl. So they're the ones. So cancel that shit. Meet someone in real life. Just cancel. Just go up to them and say hi.
Who is on Tinder that much that you need to pay for this? Like it's obviously not
the majority of men. The majority of men, like they're like these super alpha males who probably like get the most attention, but they're like 2% of the male population, while the rest of them have to do whatever they have to do to get fucking attention and like to find their matches. And the algorithm's so crazy.
You gotta cut out all that shit, B. There's no reason why you should be have Paramount. You said you have Paramount Plus also.
Paramount
What's
Plus.
on Paramount Plus besides iCarly?
That's enough for me.
First of all, I've never even seen iCarly.
That's enough for me. I'm so never seen iCarly, my man.
Hold up.
Because Sling TV I have CBS, so I need the CBS network. I need to, see my shit. And they got certain movies available on Paramount.
No, what's on CBS that you need to see?
Football.
60 Minutes.
Football. The
Football, you
NCAA
can catch the
tournament.
highlights on YouTube.
No, see,
and still talk about it on the podcast.
we do a sports podcast, bro. We have to. We can't finesse every single thing. Somebody got to know what they're talking about.
Yeah, man.
The secret to saving money,
and I also have an Xbox Game Pass Ultimate subscription, so any gamers out there, like if y'all need, like just holla at me.
You don't need Ultimate Pass.
Do you pay monthly or do you pay like the year thing to knock it out?
I pay monthly, man. Like for me, it's easier just to do that than to pay annually because I don't want to get all that money.
Annually makes more sense. You just knock out that fee right there.
Liddell's doing charity and not receiving a tax break for it. Just don't. Like, don't give to charities.
How many people are on your Netflix?
3 people.
Who are they?
3 people? Do they pay you?
Yes. Why do you think I have all this?
I thought you was just like balling like LeBron, just out here just clicking through fucking networks.
Oh, if you're making a little side hustle off
it, exactly. Okay, all right, cool.
Like I don't drive people unless they promise to help me pay for gas. Like that's the only way I do it.
I'm just saying, I don't know what's on Paramount Plus to justify like having an account with them besides iCarly.
What Paramount has, like I think the BET, the Viacom realm, so like MTV, BET.
Yeah, they have like
Nickelodeon.
Yeah, under that umbrella.
Yeah, plus I wanted to see like the new Rugrats. That was the only place to watch it. So
you gotta get a streaming website pirate. You know.
We do not condone pirating.
Shit. You want to see how I saw Spider-Man No Way Home?
Oh shit.
I ain't put the link in the chat, Donnie.
Yeah, you remember those bootleg movies that people would like sell at like McDonald's and places and shit?
Mm-hmm.
That was the wildest experience for me when I was a kid because I bought one for like
Spider-Man. It's funny how as soon as you said that, police sorry.
Well, I only bought them. I don't make them. Spider-Man 3 came out, and I remember inserting the fucking the bootleg disc into my DVD player, and it was so ratchet. Like the person actually just like filmed it on like their phone or something. and
Uh-huh.
there was
Were
a
there
whole
people?
segment. I
Were there
missed
people walking around and shit?
Yeah.
sometimes. But what's crazy about this is like for the entire, I missed a whole segment of the movie because the two people videotaping it got into a fight in Cantonese. Like instead of seeing like Spider-Man fight Harry Osborn, I'm seeing these two dudes yell at each other in like a Chinese dialect the whole
Yeah.
time. And I still don't know to this day what they're calling each other or why they're fighting. But that just unlocked that memory, and I'm just so happy.
Man,
That's a brilliant movie.
I definitely feel old now because my man said DVD player. I've been getting a bootleg since the VHS days.
Back
I
when they used
I
to come in
remember
the
VHS.
barbershop
made-
selling that shit.
They made bootleg VHS.
Yes.
It's easy. You can make bootlegs out of anything.
Ice Age. I still have
I
Ice
know
Age on
about that.
VHS. Toy Story on VHS, the
I know you
bootlegs.
can make a bootleg VHS.
And then you used to have like the cheap ass cardboard box shit. They had like the actual like case shit, the cheap cardboard box that you just slide the tape in.
Oh,
Yo.
oh man! All right.
1998 was a good year. Man.
Yeah. I remember having like those Rugrats VHS tapes, and they were like
I had that too.
Orange.
I
they
had
were
that too.
orange. I love them. I don't know
Take
where they
me
are.
back. I want to go.
Oh fuck.
Oh man.
But yeah, no, I don't know if I have any more investment tips for people. If you're poor, just stop being poor. Obviously.
Oh, God.
I know.
Hey
But,
man. We
yeah,
cannot, as people, we cannot control the circumstances that we're in, but as long as we recognize it and don't use it as a
Just
crutch
be
for our own
smart,
failures,
yeah.
that's
Just
all
be
that
smart
matters.
about your
yeah,
money.
man. Instead of all that money going to college liberal arts degree, and if you don't want to go into like finance or computer science, use all that money you use in college to buy some real estate, man. Like
Yeah.
fucking rent it out, stream of
And
income.
and if you're in that situation, do not go on OnlyFans and just pay for all these subscriptions.
Yeah. Okay.
You paying for OnlyFans subscriptions, Linda?
No, not me. I'm just saying, like, if you're poor in that situation, like,
selling
don't.
on
I obviously don't.
Like if you want to make money from it, then go ahead. Like, by all means, do you, but don't.
No,
pay for
if
the
it-
shit.
if
I'm
it
never
ain't somebody
mad
I
at people
know,
trying to
then-
make money. I'm mad at people who are wasting their money on stupid
Yeah,
shit.
I found out that the average person on OnlyFans makes I think 200 a month or something like that.
Really?
Yeah, it's like the average person.
okay. What inspired you to look up this information, Donnie?
Because I'm curious.
That
That's
makes
true.
sense. That makes sense.
Yeah.
I mean, you hear about them able to like buy houses, but that's like the top earners.
So
Yeah,
out of the blue, you just like, I wonder how much money OnlyFans content creators make.
Yeah, because remember when they was going to shut it down, like, and a lot of people up in arms
that's
talking
true,
about they make a lot of money. There were reports coming out that the average person, like the person like you and me walking on the street, like they only make 200, 250. So unless you're like Mia Khalifa level or Amber Rose or like Carly B or some shit like that, you ain't making money on it.
Wait, they have OnlyFans?
Yeah, Carly B has one.
Cardi B.
Yeah, but it's not what you think.
How
It's
do you know
more-
this?
Why
Do you
you
guys not? Really?
They advertise it. Like if you go on the links to their bios, they have it. But
I'm telling y'all got to get Twitter, man.
nah,
And
man.
you gotta get
This is what you do, my
So
friend.
so we can end up in rooms where people like moaning for PS5s and shit.
Look, do you have a PS5?
Nope.
Can you moan really good? You might want one.
Yeah, but for my fellas out there, I obviously don't know this from personal experience, but
I'm
if
clipping
there's
that.
someone whose OnlyFans you really want to watch, there are certain leaks on Reddit that usually happen.
Yeah, there's every OnlyFans is on Reddit. All right,
They're
all you gotta
online.
do is just wait a day because I've seen a lot of free content. I'm not out here.
And I am always
Donnie
disappointed.
got the connect for
Always-
everything.
I'm always disappointed because like their Instagrams are like so good, and then the video quality of the actual thing is just so awful and
Yeah.
boring.
And,
Yeah, and I'm like,
it's,
you're
it's
charging
not even
people
worth it. It's
You're
not
charging
worth it.
people $15 per month for this shit, please.
Yeah, and
Okay.
some of this shit be already on their Instagram.
At this point,
I know
if you
there's
post
one
it
girl. I'm not
online,
going to
it's
call her out by
online.
name, but
It's all about the curiosity for some people. Because, like you said, like most of the things that you can see is available for free, but the fact that there's a price tag to it, so you just say that it must be more. Where in actuality, it's nothing that you can't see for free.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
But so yeah, cut your wasteful spending on porn.
yeah. I don't know how we got here.
Investment.
No,
That's how we got
these are
here.
tips, man. These are tips right here. But yeah, no, man. So I'm glad I'm living what I'm preaching. I finally left New York and all of its expense. Well, I will next week, but I finally left New York and all of its
What's the number one thing that you're gonna miss about it?
absolutely fucking nothing, honestly. Like, I guess all my friends are here, but it's like a 30-minute drive or like on the PATH train.
Oh well, yeah, you'll be in and out. So
Yeah, it's relatively close, so it's like I don't care enough. Yeah, honestly, I like Jersey City the moment I got there. I was like, this is dope. I like it.
Jersey City is no different from the Bronx to me. No offense to all my people out there in Jersey City. It's just Jersey City and Patterson. That's like
Oh, Newark. I avoided Newark even though it had the best rent because apparently they have the biggest crime rates. Like I was like, because low rent or high rate of death. It was
Take
a
a
tough
struggle.
choice. It's a tough choice, but it's okay because like it's a lot easier to get a gun in Jersey than it is New York, so I feel good.
Balance.
yeah.
on some
On
Libra
the
shit.
sweet spot.
All right, but fellas, since this is like our last episode of 2021, I guess it's time to do like some reflection on the year that was. For me, like the year just came and went. It's like a comment, so to speak. But I feel like we've as content creators, we definitely provided some value and everything like that. But is there anything that you guys are gonna look back on for 2021 and the year that was? Anything that you're grateful for? Anything that you want to work on a bit more going into 2022 that you started this year? Like, how do we feel about this year as a whole?
Well,
All chipped in at once.
It'll always be Donnie, man. Like, he be the main one that look like he want to talk with it. Look, he hesitated to get
I
like Ben
didn't give
Simmons.
a
He had
fuck.
like Ben Simmons right now at the 3-point line. Like, shoot the ball.
I didn't
by
give
the
a
way,
fuck
I was
during
right
the
about
year.
Metro Index.
There's not really nothing that I'm going to change. I do want to see get more into art history. I know that. Go to a lot more museums and stuff like that, so I can be an art snob. So yeah, that's the only thing I'm going to change.
I respect that. What about you, Sean?
I'm deciding that next year I will be entering my villain story arc. Yeah, right. um, this whole year in general has been like a big kind of growing period for me, like in terms of confidence, in terms of exploration of interests and all the stuff like that. So I'd say next year I wanted to like kind of be more concrete, like keep going forward, keeping exploring the things that I'm interested in. I guess telling people off that I should have told off before.
Shit.
You got to
I
learn
know
not
the
to give a
feeling.
fuck like me, man.
Like
Cut 'em
that's where
off.
I'm going. That's why I said my
Just
villain
cut 'em
origin
off.
story.
Like, don't even talk to me.
I feel it. And then also we have our guy, our host, the voice of TUC Talk, Kenny Santos. You kind of went to like you're about to make the move to Jersey. That's an exciting, new beginning going to the new year. But anything else that you're excited for?
Oh no, yeah. I mean, this past month especially has just been all about like self-reflecting and like deciding where I want to be in life. And this next year, I just want to get my money right, get more streams of income, be more serious about investing. Uh, Keep doing all the good things I usually do, therapy, going to the gym and whatnot. And yeah, that's pretty much it. I'm not doing anything too crazy.
Amen to that. As for me, I just want to I'll say, obviously, continue building what we're building here. Make it so that everybody could eat and benefit from this because that's the end goal. That's my goal for everyone. 2, also to take more time out for myself, cut off necessary dead weight, embrace embrace new beginnings, new friendships,
Oh Lord.
That sounded like it had a double meaning behind that.
It had a target.
Well, that'll be for the next podcast.
Yeah.
New friendships or new relationships.
Hey, bro.
Johnny, please.
Don't be an op. Don't be an op.
We gotta save something for next time, fellas.
Yeah. But
All right.
yeah, Kenny, you could, because Don, you about to fuck it all up for me. But
Yeah,
Kenny, wrap this up.
We better go. Okay, so follow us. We're at TUC Talk. Follow us on YouTube, Instagram. Do we have a Facebook? Maybe Facebook, StreamYard.
Facebook, true.
Yeah, oh, great. So you can tune into us on YouTube, of course, but there are plenty of other ways if you just type in TUC Talk. I'm your host, Kenny. You can see our Instagram bios here in the black part. But yeah, well, let's wrap this up now, please. Press the end button.
Hydra.